Now let's move on to specification number 5, which asks us to state the word equation and the balanced chemical equation for photosynthesis. As we've already understood the process of photosynthesis, how it happens and why it's important, in our previous videos. Now, let's take a look at how this process is represented in equation form, both in words and using chemical symbols. Expressing photosynthesis as a word and balanced chemical equation is very important, because it clearly shows what substances are involved, makes the process easier to understand, and helps us see exactly what's happening. The word equation gives a simple overview, making it easy to understand, while the balanced chemical equation makes the process precise by showing the exact details about the number of molecules involved and ensuring the reaction follows the law of conservation of mass. But before we look at the equations, let's quickly recap what's required for photosynthesis. We've learned that plants absorb certain materials from their environment and use them to carry out photosynthesis, a process that transforms light energy into chemical energy stored in the bonds of glucose molecules. We've learned that plants absorb essential materials from their surroundings and convert them into chemical energy during photosynthesis. This energy is stored in the chemical bonds of glucose, which the plant can later use for growth, respiration, and building other substances. The main raw materials needed are carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide is taken in from the air through small pores in the leaves called stomata. Water is absorbed by the roots from the soil and transported up to the leaves through vessels known as the xylem. In addition to these raw materials, light energy from the sun is also required. Although light isn't a substance used up in the reaction, it provides the energy needed to drive the entire process. As a result of photosynthesis, the plant produces glucose, which serves as a source of energy and a building block for other molecules. Oxygen is also produced and released through the stomata. For the plant, this oxygen is not needed and is simply a waste product, but for other living organisms, it's vital for respiration. Now, when it comes to the word equation for photosynthesis, it's quite simple. Think of it as linking together all the essential components the plant absorbs and what it produces in return. So, we write it as carbon dioxide plus water gives glucose and oxygen. This equation sums up the entire process in words, showing how the raw materials come together to form the useful product, glucose, and the byproduct, oxygen. Continuing from the earlier explanation. Now, when we write the chemical equation for photosynthesis, we use the chemical names and formulas of the compounds involved. The unbalanced form simply shows the basic idea, but to be scientifically correct, we must write the balanced chemical equation. This means we make sure the number of atoms of each element is the same on both sides of the equation. The correct balanced chemical equation for photosynthesis shows that 6 molecules of carbon dioxide react with 6 molecules of water, in the presence of light energy, to form 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. It's very important to write this equation in its balanced form. If it's not balanced, it's considered incomplete and you won't get full marks, otherwise your complete marks will be deducted. So you must write it exactly and accurately. So, we write the chemical formula for photosynthesis as 6CO2 plus 6H2O, in the presence of sunlight energy, shown by an arrow here, produce C6H12O6 and 6O2 molecules. Which we read as 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water, in the presence of light energy, produce 1 molecule of glucose and 6 molecules of oxygen. This is the balanced chemical equation for photosynthesis, and it clearly shows the number of atoms involved in the reaction.